One of the most debated practices in morality and ethics is euthanasia, or otherwise known as mercy killing. In a moment, you will know why it is mercy killing and why it is one of the most debated topics in morality. Now, in one of my videos, I stated that morality is the recognition of what is good and what is bad, right? Now, euthanasia in this particular sense is when a medical practitioner, it is a medical practice of taking someone's life deliberately because of the fact that they are suffering while they are alive. Now, we have three types of mercy killing or euthanasia. Number one being voluntary euthanasia. Number two, non-voluntary euthanasia. And lastly, involuntary euthanasia. Voluntary euthanasia comes from the word voluntary, meaning that it is by someone's consent. Someone gives you the permission, the explicit permission to take their lives. Why? Because while they are alive, they are suffering, or for other particular reasons. Non-voluntary euthanasia is when someone is incapable of giving you the particular instruction to take away their life. So the decision of taking away their lives is given by someone else, perhaps a close relative. Take, for example, the best way to define euthanasia as a whole is by patients. That's why euthanasia is a medical practice. I want you to underline the fact that euthanasia is a medical practice. Now, take, for example, a family member is asked, he's seeing his or her son or daughter in the bed. That son or daughter is in a coma or is under life support. And within that coma, this person is incapable of giving the decision of telling this particular medical practitioner to take away his or her life because she or he is in a coma. So this relative deliberately gives the decision and gives them the green light. Do take his life because I can't watch him suffering. We'll go to that suffering aspect later. And then finally, we have involuntary euthanasia. Now, involuntary euthanasia is now something that is immoral. Everyone will accept that it is immoral because this is basically murder. You are taking away someone's life, medically taking away someone's life. And they have not given you permission. And even the family members, the relative, the people who are in charge of this person have not given you the permission to take away their life. That is now something that will raise a legal issue or question. Now, the debate here is whether euthanasia is actually moral or immoral. Now, on the side of morality, on the side of saying that euthanasia is moral, it is good, it states this. You are having a patient who is suffering, right? Someone who has been suffering for a significant period of time. And the only way to end this suffering is by ending their lives. That is now, when you look at euthanasia in a moral perspective, you say that it is good because now it is an act of compassion. That is why it is otherwise known as mercy killing, because you are killing out of mercy. You are taking away their life because while they are alive, they are suffering. Either physically or mentally or emotionally, psychologically, they are suffering either way. And you are required to take away their life in order to end this suffering. And now to look at it from another perspective, the one that says euthanasia is bad. Now, this one is mostly given by religious people or religious organizations, churches, Muslims, Christians, and other people who hold morality to their core. These people will argue that killing someone itself is immoral. It is a very bad practice to kill someone. Life is sacred. This is another argument. Life is sacred. Why? Because it is given to you by God, right? That's how they would argue. People who are in religious organizations or religions per se, particularly let's say Christianity, they will argue that life is sacred. It is given by God and no human being has the right to take this life. So because of this deduction, we deduce that euthanasia is immoral. And of course, we still have more arguments. From the people who say that euthanasia is moral. They say that if you do not actually do this, you will allow them to suffer, which is also immoral. You're looking at something, right? You're looking at someone who is suffering, and you know that they are suffering, and you know the only way to end it is through ending their life. but you're not doing it. This one is actually, it can actually clash with a scripture in the Bible, which is James 4 verse 17, I believe, which it says, it is a sin, I paraphrase, it is a sin to know that you are doing something good, to know that you can do something good, or to know that there is something good you can do, but you're not doing it. That can actually clash with that particular verse, right? Because now you're like, why? You're seeing someone suffer and you're not doing anything about it. This one is also a good argument from the, let me say, proposition side. If we were to have the motion, euthanasia should be legalized and it is moral, right? But then we still have the argument that life is sacred and whatever. That is the religious argument. But now it seems as though the proposition side, in this context, the proposition side that says euthanasia is moral, it should be moral, it should be considered moral, has more points, or at least I have not researched on the points from the other side, the opposition. They say that if you do not allow someone to die, even by their own permission, then that is like infringing their right to human dignity. Take, for example, in the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, we have Article 28, which is human dignity. Now, this person, human dignity also encompasses the physical automation that you have, autonomy, right? You are the one who should decide how you should die, in what manner you should die. Human dignity does not, this is the argument, human dignity does not extend to human life only. It also extends to how one dies. That is one of the arguments. But a legal argument could be Article 26 of the Constitution of Kenya. That is why euthanasia is actually not legal in Kenya. This argues, this Article 26, it encompasses the right to life. It states that stuff like life begins at conception. Now, the right to life states that you should not, this one you can say that it states that you should not be allowed to take anyone's life, even with their permission, because it would raise legal questions such as he has committed manslaughter, or even worse, he has committed murder. Now, there are some countries that actually do hold euthanasia as a medical practice and as a legal medical practice. Take, for example, Spain in 2021, Belgium since 2002, New Zealand after a national referendum also in 2021. These are examples of countries that hold euthanasia, the practice of euthanasia, as legal. But now we have two aspects. We have morality and legality. So according to you, what is euthanasia? Is it moral or immoral? Should it be legalized, or should it still remain illegal in Kenya?